I co? Mają otwarte?
My name is Vaughn. Middle initial is T, stands for Tracy, because people know me as Tracy from the neighborhood, and people know me as Vaughn from a job due to changing of time. I work at the Matthew Catholic High School. I'm a full-time art teacher there in my 32nd year. I grew up in the Scotland community off of 7 Locks Road down in Montgomery Mall. Born and raised in Montgomery County, and been here all my life. As a first grader, I had a tutor, and I didn't know exactly who that tutor was. I don't remember. I just remember that tutor giving me a paintbrush and a canvas and a set of paints. And I've been painting ever since. All the way through high school, I did artwork, and then, of course, I majored in art at college at Morgan State University in Baltimore. And I became a teacher in art in 1992. And I've been teaching ever since. Well, based on my life experience and growing and getting older, I realized the importance of using my art to reflect the history of who we are as a people. And that's the same thing from any part of the world. People, what we know throughout history about mankind, we know through art. Most of my art is a reflection of my life. So if you look at the art, you'll see, okay, he did this, he was here, he was there, family, you know. It's important to record who we are. Just to remember that family and community is a very powerful thing, and without the way history has been, for not just for Black Americans, but any multicultural people or people of diversity, it's important to reflect who we are and just remember where we came from. Before Scotland, townhouses became townhouses when we still lived in shacks. In 1964, I was a 6-year-old kid. And I remember 7 Locks Road being a dirt road. And I remember all the things starting to happen with the development being remodeled and rebuilt and all that. But as a kid, you don't think about what, you're little, you don't know the history of it. I would say to this day in my life, my greatest memories and greatest time of my life has been living in Scotland as a little kid. The freedom we had to go to the creek, swim in the creek, and go hiking, do all those things, play until 9 o'clock at night. It really touched me. It really made me realize how people sacrificed before I was even born to give up land to have Scotland exist because of the way society was. Things were being torn down and people were being displaced and land was being taken and stolen and sold and so on. The power of what took place and the fact that we still exist and the fact that Miss Siegel is still alive. It was at her 90th birthday that she told me about my experience with her and her son, as she was the tutor I had. I didn't know it until she was 90. I found out at her 90th birthday that she was the lady who took me to her house and got me started painting. So when I graduated from college, first thing I wanted to do was to do something for Scotland. I know the community center, I wanted to paint the mural. I wanted to do it for free. At that point, I didn't know the community center we had was owned by the county government, so I couldn't do it for free. I had to go through the proper procedures to get permission. Different people I chose that I thought represented Scotland from my memories and I thought was important. I didn't know I was going to have to go through a whole lot and get the community's involvement and all that, which was a nice life lesson for me as an artist about the politics of art, but also the responsibility to give back to those people and recognize those people who have done. And once the community center got renovated and destroyed, I had no clue that they had taken a stat of the original painting and made wallpaper out of it. So when the center reopened and I walked in and I saw my artwork put back up on the wall, I was like, wow. That was an honor for me. That was a real honor that they felt deep enough to make a copy and turn it into wallpaper that they can reinstate. Not only did they reinstate the design, but the frame of it was original. It was smaller, but it was original shape as the original design that was put on the wall. So that, to me, was an honor that I was not expecting, but really, truly blessed to see. And the people felt the need to put that back up, because the mural that exists now is a representation without people in it, but it has the church, which is the staple of the community. It has the old schoolhouse, which used to be the main place for people to go as for Cub Scouts, church meetings, whatever it was. There was a water pump there that people didn't have running water. My family had it in our house. I didn't get my showers until it rained. Those are the things that are really important. So that mural captured the history of Scotland in a short segment of the church, the schoolhouse, the water pump, the current community as it looked, the entranceway, the trees, and all that. So I would have to, in relationship to my community, that piece by itself would be the most memorable. Everything we have on this planet that's man-made came from Earth. And who gave it to us? God. All we did was take the materials that God has provided and transform them into existence of things we have today. I say art saved my life because in the worst moments, I can always go to my art to create my imagination, pain, happiness, all those things you can put into a piece of artwork and help somebody else. When you think, I just want people to realize the importance of everything that we have and where it came from. And if we can take advantage of the gifts that already exist in front of us, because you hear kids say all the time, "Oh, I don't have no talents, I don't have skills." Yes, you do. You just haven't found them yet. Every now and then I get a phone call from somebody, I don't even remember who they were until I see them. After teaching anywhere for a long time, you see a lot of people come through the school. So I typically remember the kids who were real good artists or the kids who weren't so good, the ones that became pains in the behind. I use art as a way to open their minds. While they're in the class and learning how to do whatever it is we're doing, I'm constantly giving them life stories. And if you got some skills, I'm going to push you harder than the coaches are going to push you in the field. I'm very proud to say that in my 32 years, it's probably been 2 to 3 kids every year get full art scholarships to college. And I'm in touch with 75 of my former students who are now practicing artists in some form or another, whether it be marketing, advertising, painting, graphics. So I stay in touch with them. What I want to do for the kids in the Scotland community, when things are said and done and we are back in full force with whether it be the church or the community center, I know there's a couple of young kids in there that want to do art. I want them to know who I am, but I also want to help them reach potential goals that they want to achieve, and they could be whether it's art or whether it's sports. I was a former football player, got injured. That injury, I wanted to play professional sports like every kid wants to play, but when I got injured my senior year in high school, thank God I had my art, because if it wasn't for my art, I probably wouldn't have went to college. But I had a good grade point at it, so I was able to go to school and study art, and you can do both. Football, basketball, whatever sport you play, it's not going to last forever. Have a backup plan. Right now, I just, I never was a member myself of the Scotland Church, and I've been there for many different occasions. Actually, I found pictures. It's truly amazing that I don't know how I ended up in all these pictures from 1966. There's photos of me sitting on a Santa Claus lap, another photo of me standing in line in the basement of that church and getting ready for snacks from some kind of event or function that went on. I want to be more involved with the activities that are going to involve the kids and the church. And, because I talk about Scotland like drinking a cup of water every day. And I kind of joke, I tell people I'm from Scotland, and the first thing they think, like, Scotland? When did you come to America? I've been in America all my life. Scotland is the neighborhood, and then I give them the history of Scotland community and the church and the connection. I will say this, and I've always been the most, well, no, none of us are perfect. We're all born into sin, but I remember a time when I was really doing bad. And it was just a gift from God that kind of woke me up. And out of nowhere, I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing, and a message came to me. The fact is, I heard it, and I felt it, and I knew then I had to change my life. For I don't worry about anything. I'm broke, I tell people, but I'm also rich. It's a mindset. Growing up in Scotland I tell people all the time, Scotland is the richest place in this world. Not the country, not the city, not the county, in the world. Because it's so deep and passionate, and the things that have come out of the community, the people who have come out of the community, you would have to have been there to understand. I can tell it to people, but again, if you haven't experienced it, it's hard for people to understand living in a shack with 8 siblings, your parents, with 2 bedrooms, no running water, No electricity, electricity, but no furnace and all that. We had a potbelly stove. Again, living off the land and caddying and making money to help out. And that, to me, was more powerful than going to college. I learned more in my life from just my childhood than any education I ever got in school. And the other part of the education, the most important, is the Bible. Everything we ever want to do, it's already written. History speaks for itself. Scotland has survived through trials and tribulations that most places don't exist anymore. And we are still there, and we want to continue to be there. We want, the next generation to remember, Churchill High School, for example, where I went to school. The athletes that came out of Scotland, Churchill wouldn't be on the map if it wasn't for Scotland. And everybody who in the county knows that. And I don't even have to call names. We just know who we are and where we are and how we were successful and continue to be successful. Because Scotland Church, I said, that's the backbone of the community, and it has been. So what I want people to know is Scotland's not a poor neighborhood. Of course we were low income because history made us low income. History has dealt a bad hand to a lot of people. But we survived when nobody thought we could survive, and there were phone calls coming in to people who own land threatening them and everything else because the people wanted us out of the county. And, PG County is majority black because people ran out of Montgomery County. If you go back through history, back to the 1940s, Montgomery County was 60% black. I want people to know that we're not going nowhere. We're going to be here. And if my art can help show the stories of Scotland, that's one of my goals. How can I show the history of Scotland through art pieces, not one piece, but multiple pieces, and then highlight all the success and also the not so success, the things that have happened to us. People need to know. We need to know how we were treated. Why Scotland's still going through certain things that should nobody have to go through. I personally want to thank Bernard Scott for reaching out to me, and not just him, but when I found out all the stuff that's going on, it warms my heart. It may not be money, but it's the love and the history that's more powerful sometimes than generational wealth. It is a type of generational wealth. It's history. Wherever I go, I'm preaching to somebody about something. But I always mention Scotland, always. Because they say, where are you from? Scotland. Scotland. Just say that, Scotland, Scotland, Scotland. The families, the people, the love, the continual love. I want to improve. I want the art. I want the kids. I want the success of the people who have come to Scotland to be known. We came out this little pocket. This little pocket is so powerful. It's like the mustard seed. It is so powerful. When people learn all that, like, wow. At the school I'm at, a lot of the guys end up being professional athletes and so on. But I tell them, none of y'all got nothing on Scotland. None of them. I don't care how long they've been in the NBA or the NFL. Because this is such a small community. To have so much power come out of it, it's dynamite. There you go, dynamite.